So with being a personal fitness coach, I get a lot of questions and people ask me all the time, how do you stay so disciplined, or how do you actually stay on track with your goals year after year? And I didn't always start off like that. I went through a lot of trial and error, a lot of failed, and a lot of wins. So I understand how it could be very hard and very stressful going year after year not actually reaching your fitness goal. But luckily for you, in this video I'm going to give you my 5 personal lessons that helped me change my life and my health and fitness. Alright, so the first one that I recommend that I actually use to this day is having a support group. So one of my biggest accountability partners is my friend named Randy. And I'm going to just take you back how it started. That way maybe you can even find someone yourself. So I actually went to a cousin's, it was like a family get together, right? We're all huddled up in a circle. And I always played sports, but I never really lifted weights or kind of worked out like that. And one of my cousins was like, hey, he works out too. And we started talking and I'm like, oh, where do you work out at? He took Anytime Fitness. And then I met him at the gym the next week. And then I kept going and he told me, okay, let's come tomorrow, and then come tomorrow. And then a year later, I find myself working out every single day with them at 4 a.m. So I ain't gonna lie, it wasn't every day, but it was Monday through Friday, right? Every day, and I've never been that so consistent. So having that support group was like huge to me because I actually still use them to this day. So right now we do different workouts, but I know that he's going to be at the gym every day at 5 a.m. So just think of what ways that you can actually do this for yourself. Do you know a friend that works out and you can go to the same gym with them? Or do you know somebody who's trying to get in shape, but just really figure out where can you find your support group, an accountability partner, something, anything that's going to help you out on your journey. Alright, so after you get the support group, the next thing you want to do is get some clarity on your personal goals.
Now, you might want to step back. Okay. Step further.
Yeah?
Yeah. No, a little further. Yeah. All right.
So one of the things I had to do is get clarity on my goals because I always used to work out. I used to play basketball, but I never used to like lift weights. So once me and Randy started actually working out each day, I'm like, okay, what do I actually want to look like? Because Randy's like 50 pounds heavier than me. He's like a D1 football athlete. He almost went to the NFL. And I'm like, my body type is a lot different than him, and there's no way that I'm actually going to look like him. Even when I train clients now to this day, I'll tell them like, okay, do you have a picture of who you want to look like? And if they show me somebody who's completely different, I'm like, girl, you know you ain't want to look like that. So I had to tell myself this way too. I'm like, okay, I know I have a specific body type. I have more of a slender body type. So I want to get more ripped and shredded. I think a good person that I can look forward to is like Iman Shumpert, Tiana Taylor's husband. He has a really lean body, but he's muscular and he has tone. So I got clear on what I wanted, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go for a lean look that is tone. So I'm not trying to bulk up. I'm not trying to look all muscular and like, I want to look muscular, but I don't want to look like super bulky that I can't move around. So I still want to be lean and mean. So just get clarity on your actual goal of like what you actually want to accomplish and who you want to look like. But I think the most important part is actually comparing yourself to your last year's self, and then do that every single year until you get where you want to be. So even if your goal is to lose 20 pounds this year, and if next year you're 15 pounds lighter, then you reached your goal. So just compare yourself to your old self, and it's always good to have some inspiration, but just get clear on what you want. It's going to help you reach your goals a lot faster. So after saying all that, the third thing that you really want to do is be realistic with your time. So what do I mean by be realistic with my time? So for example, we're going back when I first met my friend Randy. I was a student at the time, full-time college student. I was working full-time and I just had a lot going on. So I'm like, okay, how am I going to actually fit this in? So I actually had to work out super early at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I know most people are not going to do that. So look at your schedule and make sure you know you're being realistic with your time. So you don't necessarily have to work out every single day to reach your goals, but you do have to make some sacrifices. So it could be sacrifices of making meals, sacrifices of actually going to the gym, but how much time is actually going to take and where in your schedule are you going to fit that in? So if you're a busy mom or if you're a full-time student, be realistic with your time and figure out where can you actually put that in. So it actually changed my life doing it early in the morning because I don't have anything going on at that time. So if you're a morning person like me, I highly suggest that. But if not, look at your schedule and be realistic and see where you can fit those in. Alright, so the fourth lesson that I learned is having a daily and a weekly review of my actual goals. So having daily and weekly reviews actually changed everything for me. So I actually got started with this by hanging out with a bunch of business owners and entrepreneurs. And one of the things I noticed that they do is they actually track their KPIs. So what is that? That's their key performance indicators. So they look at things like how many messages they sent out, how many sales calls, and they actually track their performance of the actual day or the actual week. So I started doing this with my own business and actually seeing more progress. And I'm like, why don't I just do this for like my personal health and fitness, or even my personal wealth? So what I do for my personal fitness is each day I look at my 2 highs and my 2 lows. So for example, like I could be a high, like I actually went to the gym today. I actually ate all the meals I was supposed to do, but my lows is maybe I didn't drink enough water or I didn't get enough sleep. So each day I try to review that, and then the next day I try not to make those same mistakes the next day. And then each day I try to correct. Of course, you're not going to be perfect, but if you look and actually analyze and self-assess, you'll make a lot less mistakes and start improving over the course of time. So I do this each day, and at the end of the week, I try to review the week as well.
You smart.
Alright, so this is the last one, and if you've been on my channel, you know this is my favorite one. So the 5th one is tracking your habits. So my favorite habit tracking app is Habit Share. And the way I found out about this is I had a friend who was actually a fitness business owner who actually used it with his clients, and I was like, okay, this looks like a pretty cool little device. Let me actually try it out myself. Then I actually liked it, and I used it with my clients because I'm like, it has a lot of potential. But over the years, I actually found a book called Atomic Habits by James Clearly, and it kind of brought everything full circle to me, and he explained about the power of habits. And what it does for me personally, it just gives me like a dopamine hit. So every time I actually read or actually work out, actually drink my water, it makes me feel good that I'm doing it, and I kind of feel like I'm actually playing a game. So at the end of the day, I'm like, how many greens can I actually get on here? And then even if I'm like reading and I'm like, I read like two words, I'm like, let me push that because I'm about to read. So it really like makes me feel good mentally and gives me a dopamine hit. So that leverage a habit tracking app. You don't have to use Habit Share. There's a lot of different options, but I tell my clients all the time, if you can track your habits, you can track your results. Alright, so that's my favorite one. I definitely suggest using some type of habit tracking because you can be really intentional about what you're doing. I know a lot of times I felt like personally like, oh man, I felt like I did pretty good this week. But what does that pretty good really mean? But when you have intentional habits, you can see like, oh, I guess I'm not doing as good as I thought I am. I wasn't reading, I wasn't drinking my water, I didn't actually drink my shake how I was supposed to do. But if you can look back intentionally on your own habits and behaviors, that makes a world of difference. So these are my 5 personal fitness lessons that I learned throughout my life. I'm really sharing this with you guys because I want you guys to accelerate your process without having all the obstacles and having so much stress. I'm telling you, you don't want to go with this alone. So that's why I'm saying you want to have a partner. You want to be clear on what you want to do. And you want to have a system. So package all of these together. I hope you guys use it or share it with somebody for yourselves. Alright, so now that I shared all of my personal lessons with you, I'm curious to know, what personal lessons did you learn throughout your own journey? I know a lot of people work out or try to get more healthier for different reasons. So it could be a health reason. It could be something that you learn to help improve your blood pressure, diabetes, get fit. And no, it doesn't always have to be about the physical aesthetics. So I want to know something that you learned. I'm sure it can help me out or whoever else out who's watching this video. So put it down in the comments. I post every single week on my channel, so make sure you check that out and other videos. I'll see you on the next one.
Peace.